Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we're back on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 28 and we're currently over here by the hostile mob farm, ready to start recording another video. And for those of you who missed the previous episode of Hermitcraft, you're probably looking at this area thinking what on earth is going on, and that is because we have done a bunch of stuff over here. We have cleared out all of the dirt that was on the inside, we replaced all of that with sand, and we have sort of created a micro desert biome, which was not my original plan. As you guys know, I was going to have a really nice lush green area with trees, plants, flowers, and all that sort of thing, but then it hit me the fact that we have swamp colors. Okay, swamp colors are a thing that are in Minecraft that really drive me around the bend, and I know that a lot of you have been telling me, why don't you install Optifine? And you can get rid of swamp colors and then it will all be fine. Well, here's the thing, we're playing on a server, and even if I get Optifine, everything looks good on my end. If someone comes over to my base, they're going to be like, why on earth has he put all this grass down, all of these leaves, when it all looks horrendously ugly? And that's the sort of thing that I really want to avoid, so I'm not going to do any client-side modding, because of course, it's not going to affect the other members of Hermitcraft. So we decided to go for a micro desert, and you know what? It doesn't look that good, okay? I said this in the episode, but I'm not 100% happy with it. It's one of those things, it just looks dead. It looks far too dead. The sugarcane over here is a horrible colour. All of the leaves are absolutely disgusting. It just doesn't quite work particularly well. And I know I asked you guys for ideas in the previous episode of Hermitcraft. Sadly, that episode hasn't released yet, so I haven't seen all of these fantastic ideas that I'm sure there's going to be. So I will be taking a look at those in the next couple of days and trying to come up with ideas as to what to do with the place. One of my original ones was to turn it into a snow biome. I think that will work really well because, of course, we have all of this iron, we've got all the stone. It will fit in because it will be nice and white and lovely, and I think that could look quite good. But anyway, what we are going to be doing today is we aren't going to be doing any decorating stuff whatsoever. We're actually going to be doing some very technical stuff. That is right, ladies and gents, we are going to be building the sorting system for all of the item drops from our hostile mob farm. It's going to be good fun, so I'm going to gather up some resources, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Call me weird, but I honestly think that killing cows in Minecraft is one of the most satisfying activities. There we go, they're all gone. Let's take a look at the drops. Lovely stuff. Alright, so I have got a bunch of stuff in my inventory here. You can see I've got tons of wood, tons of stone as well, a few blocks of iron, we've got a little bit of redstone, a few redstone blocks, and a little bit of slime as well, because we should need pretty much all of this stuff to create the item sorter system. Now, in terms of how I'm actually going to do this, I've been thinking about this, and I'm not 100% certain on what I want to do. I could have the redstone facing out in this direction, or I could have it coming inwards, or I could have it elsewhere. I could do it in certain different ways. There's loads of different designs that I could use. There's loads of different methods of actually building it. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to pop through into a redstone testing world. I'm going to pretty much recreate what we have going on over here, and we'll see what will work the best. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of work over here, and as you can see, this is a replica of the water stream that we have on Hermitcraft. As I said I was going to be doing, we are in the redstone testing world now. This is my testing area where all of this stuff goes down. So if you just head down here, you can see I've got a segment of our item sorter, and this is actually on the inside of our little area. So instead of having all the redstone on the outside, we're actually going to have it inwards, acting as a sort of roof, which I think could look actually quite good. Now in the middle, I will just point out there will be a 3-block gap, and then we will have the other set of item sorters for the other side of the machine, because we're going to be building 2 sets of identical item sorters just to keep with symmetry. There's no other reason for that. I know it sounds silly, but that's pretty important to me on this little project here. But anyway, as you can see, we have all of the hoppers, then we have these hoppers here, and all of the items will basically run across this water stream, going into the corresponding hoppers, traveling down here into their sets of chests. Now, one thing that I will point out is that the chests are considerably further down than they were beforehand. Originally, they were at this level right here. Well, now, as you can see, they're about 3 blocks lower, which means we are going to have to lower down our platform a little bit, which means we're going to have to do a bit of building over there. But anyway, this is the design that we're going to be using, and it should work very, very nicely indeed. So I'm going to pop back onto the Hermitcraft server, and we'll get our building hat on. Alright, we are finally getting the ball rolling here. I've taken out all of the original chests that we had. Any decoration that we had as well is now gone. And as you can quite clearly see, we really have taken out quite a large number of the original chest. We have actually lost 4 blocks of space from the top here to make way for the item storing system, which means that we actually have to go down a level here, and I've already begun planning that out, but I'm considering making it even lower just so we can have a little bit extra storage. But anyway, that's an idea for the future. For now, I'm going to start work on our actual sorting system. Now, I've laid out pretty much all of the hoppers here so that all of the items can be accepted. All we have to do now is place these hoppers running into the droppers. And if you're wondering why I'm using droppers, it's actually quite a smart, intelligent, resources-based move, because what we have here is a bunch of hoppers. In theory, all of these could be hoppers as well, but it's not entirely necessary, okay? They don't need to be hoppers, and this way saves loads of resources because you don't have to get the wood and you don't have to get the iron. Iron's not much of a problem, but wood is quite frustrating to get. Because I've been using Silk Touch for so long, I'm actually in a bit of an odd situation right now, where I'm having to mine for cobblestone. My cobblestone supply is through the floor. I've completely run out. So, yeah, I guess this is the thing that I've got to do now. Now, what I thought I'd do is actually take you through the building process of doing 1 or 2 of these modules, just so you can see how I'm going to do it, because of course, generally speaking, I like to work in progress updates, and that means that you don't get to see much of the behind the scenes stuff. Now, of course, I am mostly going to be doing progress updates and time lapses and things for this project because it's relatively repetitive. Don't want to take you through it too many times. Now, hopefully I can actually remember how to build one of these before I start doing it all confidently on camera. But what we have here is we've got the comparator that is running out of the hopper. This is the first set of items that are going to be coming in. So they're going to flow in like this, go along this side here because they've hit the ender chest, and we actually need to change that out to 2 ender chests or 2 cakes, because I've been told that this isn't fully reliable. We'll get to that in a second. So we've got this comparator here, and we need it to give off a signal strength of 2, which means it will go right the way across here. And that means that it will power this sticky piston that is going to be facing downwards here with a iron block on its face. I'm going to be using iron here on the face of the piston, just because I think that will look quite cool. But anyway, now what we have to do is it's relatively simple, and this is going to come down fairly low. As you can see, this is why we're having the problem of our chests having to be moved down a little bit, but this is where our redstone torch is going to be going, so we've got some of those there. That will extend, which will then power this repeater, which is going to be running across like this into a set of blocks, which will have a redstone torch on the side of them. If I can actually place this half slab here. So this redstone torch here will actually power this hopper, meaning that no items can flow out of this top hopper up here until 22 items are in it, in which case the signal strength goes to 2, this piston extends, the torch unpowers, this hopper will unpower, meaning it will let items pass through, which means they'll be able to make their way down into the chest. Now that is the idea behind a sorting system. Now here's the thing, okay, this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because for this one, we're actually going to be using a slightly different design, and that is because we don't want them to be tileable. We don't want any of this redstone to link up, because that means that if the system overflows, it will cause a massive problem. We'll get interconnection of the different sorting systems, and yeah, that will cause some pretty big problems. So anyway, if I head down here and place down a couple of half slabs, and I think we need to do it like this, so the comparator will run out into this block, which will then go out into these blocks here. So we need to go a couple down more like that, and then we need to just replicate the same thing once again. So that is those blocks there, that redstone torch there, and this repeater running into those blocks. So those are the 2 different modules that I'm going to be using for this build, and they are going to go right the way across all of these, and also right the way across on this side as well. Should be interesting to build, but now I'm going to crack on, and I'm going to do the rest of them. So the first set of item sorters is now in place, and I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised because that didn't take that long in the slightest. We really did whiz through that. We managed to get all of the build done, and it seems to be functional. Now, I don't have any items in it just yet. We haven't set all of that up. That's probably the last thing that we are going to be doing, but as far as I can see, it is actually holding items, which is always a pretty positive sign. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to give it a quick test with these bones here. So we place those in, and yes, it is only allowed 1 item to pass through, and then the rest, as you can see, we have got that sweet 22 items inside the hopper there, which basically means that if we place any more bones in, which I don't actually have, they will be sorted out, but it also means that no other types of items can be picked up by that hopper. I really hope I'm making sense here. If not, I do apologize, but that is essentially how the item sorter is going to be working. So now what we have to do is build it on the other side, and you know what? I think I'm going to be doing a 3rd-person time-lapse for that one. The item sorter is now done. All of the redstone is in place, the system is fully up and running, and as you can see, it looks absolutely awesome. I'm so happy we decided to do all of the redstone on the inside of the build instead of on the outside. That would have looked really ugly with all of that redstone overhanging. I'm very, very glad that we chose to do it this way because it's going to provide an awesome roof for our little system that we are going to have down underneath. Because of course, you know, this area, it's a little bit on the high side, alright? We have only got space for one set of chests now, which is a bit of a problem, but most importantly, we have taken up quite a lot of the space using all of this redstone here. So that means that we are going to be relocating down underneath. I should probably eat something, that is why I can't run, so I just grab myself some steak and munch down on that for a second, and then pop down here. As you can see, I've already started work on this little area. Now, I haven't really done anything. This is just planning. I'm trying to work out what level I want to be at. I was originally thinking this one, but I'm actually starting to think that maybe this one might work better, or potentially even this one, so we can really maximize the amount of storage that we're going to be getting. But anyway, if I just pop back up here, I should clarify something quickly. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doubling up the amount of storage that we're going to have. So we're going to have these two chests here are going to be for gunpowder, these two for bones, these two for string, these two for arrows, and then these last two are actually going to be for all of the witch drops, which means that we didn't really need any of these item sorters right here, but these are going to be for all of the witch drops like glowstone, sticks, and all that sort of thing, because the issue is, you don't get that many of them, okay? You never really get that many of those, so that means that we can use this last section to just gather all of them up. They're not going to be sorted into their separate sections, they're all going to go in those ones. Now, the cool thing is that of course we're going to have all of that storage on that side, but that is going to be replicated on this side as well. So this will be gunpowder, bones, string, arrows, and then the witch drops at the end. It's all going to work the same, so that means that we're going to have loads and loads of space for loads and loads of items. At least that's what I hope. I've created the platform that is going to be going underneath the current platform. As you can see, I've used the exact same design as I did beforehand because I quite like the combination of the glass, the half slabs, the sea lanterns, and of course the iron. And you know what, if I didn't like that combination, then I probably wouldn't like much of this build, as come to think of it, that is pretty much everything that this build consists of, that and a little bit of compressed ice. But yeah, this is how it all looks, and I would say it actually looks quite nice. It's a nice little area, and I don't really know how I'm going to do this part up at the top here. I guess I could take out this entire thing, but there are some elements that I actually quite like. For example, I might leave in the middle area, I might chuck in a few sea lanterns, maybe a little bit of glass and things, but most importantly, I would like to be able to see at least some of our sorting system in action, which means that we are going to have to get rid of quite a bit of this stuff. So I'm going to have to take a step back, take a think about this, and then I'll start knocking some blocks out. Progress update time. As you can see here, I have got a bunch of the chests in. This is actually all of the chests that we had in the original storage system, and as you can see, it only just does one side. We had a few extra here which I've put in, but we've still got a bunch more to place. But yeah, we have got a lot of storage ready for this mob farm. I mean, think about it. All of this is gunpowder, all of this is gunpowder, all of this is gunpowder, and all of this is gunpowder. I mean, seriously, if we manage to fill up all of those chests there, can you imagine the size of the explosion that we could create? I mean, that would be some serious business stuff. I think the US government will probably be notified if I set off something like that. But anyway, that is the storage system area. Of course, it's only half of it, but what do you guys think of this ceiling design that I've actually decided to do? I really like the way that it looks. I love the way this build is coming together. I love using transparent blocks. Being able to see through into other parts of the build really is very cool, because look, if you look upwards here, we have got all of the water streams, we can see the elevator, we can see the hoppers for the mob spawner. It's just awesome. It gives you a real idea of depth, and I quite like it. What do you guys think? But anyway, now I've got to fill in the rest of the storage system area and also try and work out what we're going to be doing with this pathway here. Okay, so storage system is now done. All of the chests are there. Also, if you head round the back, all of the hoppers running into all of the chests are now all in place. So that is pretty much all done and dusted. There's just one more thing that has to be done, and that is to place all of the items into the hoppers, which is something that I have been putting off for probably around about the past 2 or 3 hours. It's just such a boring task to do, and it's not particularly fun, but it has to be done because otherwise our sorting system isn't going to be sorting anything. But before I do that, I just want to show you guys that quickly I have created a little bit of a pathway up from our train track up onto the storage system platform. And you know what? I am not so sure about this one. I don't think it looks particularly good, but I don't have any ideas of how I'm going to make this, because of course, you know, we have to get from down there up to here somehow without having to run all the way back out up there and then across the side here. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is a temporary solution, but it's not one that's going to be sticking around for too long. Let's just take a moment to admire the glorious, glorious view that we have of this system from back here on this here lily pad. Oh boy, I have to say, I'm a little bit proud of this one. All the items are in, the sorting system is now sorting. It is sorting out all of the items. They are all going into their various chests. Of course, I will eventually get some item frames down here so that you can exactly tell what chest corresponds to which item. But that is all for some point in the future. For now, we have got one more thing left to do in terms of large scale projects in today's episode. And that is moving this passageway here down a bit. Okay, so we need to connect this to this so that we can get to the elevator. Now, I'm not actually going to move the entire thing down. What I was thinking is we could have some form of staircase that takes us up to the elevator level, but that is going to require quite some thought because I don't want to make it ugly. I'm so happy with how this whole area looks. I don't want to ruin it by making some horrendous looking staircase. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The staircase is now in place. And I feel like I've done a half decent job with this one, actually. This is an entirely new block that we're using here. We're using quartz. The reason that I don't use quartz that often isn't because I don't like it, because I personally think quartz is one of the best looking blocks in the game. It's simply because I just can't get it. I can't go out into the nether. I can't gather it up particularly well. I'm really awful at that sort of thing, and that means I never really get a chance to use it. But I managed to get all of this together from my storage system. This is all of the quartz I had, turned it all into stairs, and we still have 21 left over, which means I'll probably be chucking these about somewhere else. But I feel like it looks pretty cool. It leads, of course, up to the elevator, so then we can travel on up to the AFK platform or the maintenance section using this little switch here. But for the minute, we're actually going to be going to the AFK section because I am going to try this thing out. I am yet to do any form of AFKing on this mob farm. I haven't actually tried that yet, so this could be interesting. I really hope everything is working perfectly. There's no glitches, no bugs or anything like that. So I'm going to go AFK for a while and we're going to see how many items we can get from this gigantic hostile mob farm. I have been AFK up here for around about an hour now, so let's just pop down to the bottom, falling down our elevator right the way down to the bottom, holding space there so we can bounce off that slime block. And let's take a look at how many items we have managed to get. Okay, so here we go. Oh, that is pretty good. 3 stacks there and almost 3 stacks there. We've got a bunch of bones as well. Wow, that was quite a lot of bones there. We have got tons of arrows. This is impressive. I was not expecting this in just 1 hour. Let's see how many random bits we've got. Yeah, we got a fairly decent amount of random bits as well. I mean, I am pretty happy with the number of items we have managed to get in that short space of time. That is pretty good. So the hostile mob farm is working like a charm, and clearly the sorting system is also working very, very well indeed. All of the items are going into the correct chest, and that is what I like to see. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.